Hey, Sarah!
Hi, I'm Mel.
I'm Bruce, and we're Brooklyn Italians Talk Movies.
Hi guys,
Hey guys.
Today we're going to be talking about a classic movie, a Marlon Brando movie.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I'm always excited. Talking about an old classic movie from back in the day, as the kids say, A Streetcar Named Desire, starring Marlon Brando. There's a lot of big stars, so we'll start with Marlon Brando. Most of the younger generation knows him as an older man, heavy-set man in The Godfather. That's a very famous role for him. This is one of his early movies, which actually may have made him back in the day. And On the Waterfront, which one day I hope that we can review that one. Two excellent movies. Marlon Brando in this movie is very young. I would say in his 20s.
Who do you play?
Well, we're not up to that yet.
Oh, you gotta go through his whole biography
Yes,
first?
I do. First of all, he looks very good. He's in his 20s.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know it's the same Marlon Brando.
You gotta take it easy.
All right. He plays Stanley Kowalski. I always say that wrong. Okay. And he plays with Vivien Leigh, who's also a famous star, known for Gone with the Wind, very big actress.
Very good actress, yeah.
She plays Blanche Dubois, who is actually perfect for that name. We'll get into that. Also, Kim Hunter. She was in Planet of the Apes, which we reviewed. She played one of the apes. She plays his wife, Stanley Kowalski.
His wife's name is Stanley?
No, his wife's name is Stanley.
You'll be all right. And you're reading it.
And that's what I get for not wearing my glasses. So we got it established. We got Marlon Brando, we got Vivien Leigh, and Kim Hunter, three big stars for back in the day.
Right.
All right. The movie takes place, and I'm going to be honest with you, when I first saw this movie, I turned it off. I actually turned it off. It takes place, which I think was supposed to be the slums of New Orleans. Back in the day, in 1950, I put it on and everybody's just yelling and drinking and...
Made you feel right at home. When would you turn it off? It's like being home. It's like a whole movie.
That's true, that's true. I just didn't want to watch it.
They should have all been Brooklyn Italians, these people.
He looked Italian, yeah. I just didn't want to watch it though. So anyway, this is where it takes place. It's black and white. It's a black and white movie. It's a classic movie, and this is how the movie, where the setting is. Okay, so
forget about the apartment that they lived in.
Yeah, they didn't even have doors to separate the rooms. They had curtains.
It was like an old cold water flat.
But they actually were content. That's the word I was looking for. They're actually content.
They had like railroad
in their little world. They were content. They were yelling, screaming. He's in the bowling alley fighting, and they drink. The woman is drinking the street.
The neighbors upstairs were loud gabon.
So I'm like, all right, I don't want to watch this.
That's what it was. This whole movie, everybody in this movie was a gabon. Every single person.
Well, I think it was just the circumstance of where they lived and the time, and they were poor, and they knew no other way, I guess. All right, but anyway, let's get back to this. All big stars, we mentioned the movies they were in. They all come together in this one movie and do a great performance. What happens is after I shut it
Marlon Brando almost won an Academy Award.
Let's get to that. Yeah. He was nominated for Best Actor for this movie. Unfortunately, he lost. He lost to another big star, Humphrey Bogart in The African Queen. Another big movie one day we're going to do. Pretty close there. I don't know. They both were good. Yeah. Vivien Leigh was in Gone with the Wind. She actually won Best Actress in this movie. Hated her character, but she did an excellent job. And we'll get into it. And Kim Hunter won Supporting Actress. I don't think any awards were given for the Planet of the Apes but
well, Kim Hunter played Zero.
She had a big part in there, right? Again, side by side with Riding Me Down. Right. All right, big stars, old classic movie. So I'm putting it. Oh, Carl Malden, another big star, won the award.
He won Best Supporting Actor.
Best Supporting Actor. Yeah. He's known for 12 Angry Men, a lot of big movies. The young people are saying, I don't know any of these stars, I don't know any of these movies. But if you watch it, It's a good movie.
Yeah, no matter what age you are,
get into it. Actually, what happened is I'm clicking around another night. I said, you know what? Let me be mature. Let me watch this movie and see because this was a famous movie and one of his big movies. So I said, let me watch it.
You want to tell what the plot is?
Yes. Well, I'll get started and you can take over.
All right, go ahead.
Like you normally do.
Yeah. I don't know. You're doing a lot of talking.
All right. I'm excited. I know. I said that already. All right. So anyway, takes place in the slums in New Orleans. And I'm saying, where did they get the title, Streetcar Named Desire? Why are they calling it this? The movie was named after a streetcar, which is a trolley car, basically. So they had no buses there. It was a trolley, which people commuted back and forth on. And Marlon Brando and Kim Hunter, who is Stanley and Stella, live in this apartment in the slums. And now here comes Vivien Leigh, who is supposed to be, who they make you believe is this country belle, sophisticated,
like a Southern belle,
older sister, educated, that's coming on this trolley to visit her sister. Right. And the name of the trolley
Well, she gets off the train and she says to the guy, she's looking at a piece of paper and she says, where do I catch a streetcar named Desire?
Right, it was the trolley, the name of the trolley
was Desire.
That was bringing her to their home. That's where they got the name. Why they picked to name the movie after this?
Well, actually, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's how the whole thing began.
Right.
So now she comes to visit, and she is like appalled. Like that's a word she would use. She was disgusted. She comes
Well, she got to their apartment.
And she's like, this can't be where my sister lives, right?
They weren't even home.
No, he was fighting with somebody in the bowling alley. Go ahead, tell you can pick it up from here.
Well, she got to the house, and she goes to a neighbor and says, I'm looking for, Stella Kowalski and her husband, do they live here? So she said, yeah, they live right here, but she's with him at the bowling alley.
And then you gotta see the shape of the lady that asked you. Wasn't she outside? Was she drinking outside?
I don't know, yeah, she was doing something.
I don't know what, it was crazy.
Anyway, she goes down to the bowling alley to meet her sister, and she walks in, and he's bowling on a league, I guess, with a bunch of other guys. And she walks in, and the sister sees her, Stella sees her, and she runs over, and they start hugging and kissing.
And there's a funny part. She goes, which one's your husband? And as she says that,
she says, oh, the guy is fighting over there.
He's fighting with another guy, and they're holding him back.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, the one over there.
Yeah, there's this big bordel going on in the bowling alley, right? He's right in the middle.
Yeah, so go ahead.
So anyway, they wind up going back to the apartment, and, he's out, he's still at the bowling alley, so Stella and his Blanche, her sister, go back to the apartment, and she's showing her the apartment. This is where you're going to stay, whatever. And as she's showing her the apartment, he walks in. Now he walks in, he's got like a bowling jacket on.
He's either wearing a bowling jacket, a tank top. He's always wearing something like
so he walks in, she says, she introduces him, and he says, oh yeah, nice to meet you. You're the high society sister, and blah blah blah. Right off the bat, I don't think he liked somebody coming in and interfering in their relationship, like being a third wheel. I don't think he liked that.
She just kind of came with her bags and moved in. I don't think any husband would like that.
She didn't come with bags. She came with a steamer trunk this big. You know what I mean? So
not even to mention her character, even if she was a likable character.
Her character was so annoying.
Right?
Oh my God.
Even if she was likable, I don't think any husband would want his sister-in-law to just show up with the bags and say, hey, I'm here to move in.
I'd have choked her like 10 minutes.
Plus they were poor. I thought that they were so poor they could barely feed each other.
10 minutes before she walked in, I'd have choked her.
And then you find out later that the wife is pregnant. Spoiler alert.
What do you call it? Vivien Leigh plays a part. The sister
like a snooty.
Right. Like, supposedly, her and Stella came from this rich Southern plantation family. You know what I mean? And Stella, of course, moved out, went to New Orleans, whatever, met, Marlon Brando and got married or whatever. And the sister stayed at this plantation.
And became a school teacher.
And became a school teacher. Like, stayed there as long as she could. Eventually, they lost it.
But see, I have to say one thing. When you start out in this movie, I don't know if you thought this, but when you start out in this movie, I thought about this, maybe because I'm a girl. They started out in the same place, a big plantation, the parents had money, whatever. I guess the parents passed away at this point. They're grown up.
Well, she was the only one left to take care of this plantation.
And I say to myself, wow, which sister wound up worse? So when you see Marlon Brando, you're like, oh God, how did she wind up here? But then when I'm not going to tell you yet, but when you see the sister, you'd rather be Marlon Brando's wife than the sister.
Right.
And you know what? I have to say this. I know there's a lot of opinions in this, but that's what we do.
The sister, very, very pretentious.
But I do want to give my opinion on this. I hated, when I first saw it, I hated Marlon Brando. I thought he looked really nice, gorgeous in this movie, but I hated him. But when you watch the movie, you kind of feel bad. Like he knew no other way. This is how he grew up.
Yeah, he was a gamon.
But he was crazy.
He was a street guy.
He was a street guy, but he was crazy about in his own work way.
Well, he was in love with her.
He was crazy about Stella. I mean, he was awful. Today, they wouldn't be together. He was awful.
First 5 minutes, they locked him up.
They were screaming, he smacked her, this, that. But he was so, like, in a way, it was like, what would you say? Like, he knew no other world. But yet they were crazy about each other. The two of them were crazy about each other. They stuck up for each other. Right. Everything was each other. There was nobody else, nothing else. It was just their world.
And now here comes the sister.
Right. You don't hate him as much if you watch it. And then you really say, all right, well, this is all this guy knows. But he does love this woman, and it's a crazy relationship.
Yeah, but here comes the sister now, Blanche Dubois, right? She comes into the mix, right? She comes with her bags, her big trunk, and she's like
her jewels, and
she's like so above everybody else.
Her
she's
feathers,
so high society, and she's wearing a gown, and she's like has jewelry and everything, and she actually has a tiara. I mean, this is like the type of person. So anyway, when she was like one of those southern people that came from money, she thought who she was. So she couldn't understand how her sister lowered herself to marry this guy, this common, as she put it. She says, I hate to tell you, Stella, but I need to tell you that I believe that your husband is very common.
No, she said something worse. I don't know if she said caveman or barbarian. She said something
like
about
a barbarian or whatever.
Something like that,
So anyway, the sister gets established in the house now. And she sends him for the bags. She tells Stanley, go get my bags, get the truck. So he gets the wacky neighbor upstairs, and they got two guys to carry these bags in his trunk and everything into the house.
And not only that, even if she wasn't, she kind of thought who she was, but even if she didn't, they were in an apartment now. You got to remember, it's like one room divided.
Quarters, right.
It's one room divided with curtains. They didn't even have a shower. They had a bathtub. She kept saying, "I'm going to the bath." Like it was like a bed thrown up against the side. There was no privacy.
You're gonna knock that glass over.
No, you say that every time. Has it fell yet? Anyway, so it's very close quarters, and these are very dominating personalities. When Marlon Brando's on the screen, you know he's on the screen.
Yeah.
And when Vivien Leigh is on the screen, I don't know what she's saying throughout the movie. I have to be honest. She kind of, it's kind of her character. She babbles on.
And with that
southern slang.
Southern like
not even that's like.
Yeah, like sophisticated.
Almost like the wind.
Right. It was really annoying.
And I would stop and I'd say, "Wait, Bruce, what is she saying? What is she talking about?"
And she always talked in the third person.
Yes, I can't even explain.
Anyway, when you watch the movie, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Honestly, guys, I'll just sum it up. The annoying sister-in-law came to move in, or thought who she was with these people, and this is what happened.
Now, Marlon Brando, right from the get-go, is first of all he didn't like the idea that she came there to begin with. Okay, but he wasn't going to say nothing because it was the wife's sister. He loved the wife and everything, so he was going to let it slide. So now what happens is he gets her clothes and her trunk and her bags and everything, and they open his trunk. She's in the bathroom now taking a hot bath. And she yells to the sister, "Stella, get my so-and-so, my gown or whatever out of the trunk for me." So she opens the trunk. So now Stanley, in the interim, Brando's talking to Stella, and he says, what happened with this and that? So she says, "Oh, it's a shame. She lost, the sister had told her that they lost the plantation. It was just lost."
Right,
I guess they foreclosed on it or whatever. It was lost.
The parents died, right?
Right.
And she
was in charge of it, and eventually she lost it. So anyway, Marlon Brando now says, "What do you mean she lost it?
Yeah.
Where's the money?"
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He wasn't too stupid. He was on the ball.
He says, "Where's the money? What'd she do with the money from this plantation?"
He kept saying, "I know a friend. I know a friend who knows about this. I know friends." I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I'm excited.
Anyway, he says, listen, he's telling the wife, like he's trying to be all educated now. He goes, He goes, yeah, here in New Orleans, here in Louisiana, there's a thing known as Napoleonic Code,
I think he made
which means that whatever there belongs to the husband belongs to the wife, belongs to the husband, and so forth, and back and forth. And he's trying to be like sophisticated.
But he knew.
And he's going, where's the papers? I want to see the papers from that. What was the name of the plantation?
Oh, I don't know.
Wait a minute.
I have to remember
the
plantation. I couldn't even understand. You can't really understand the sister when she talks. She's so way out. Honestly, Marlon Brando was easier to understand with that accent and then like that street talker.
Yeah.
She was just babbling. I didn't know. I had to stop the movie and say, all right, what is she talking about? What is going on?
See, now it's going to bug me. I can't think of the name of that plantation because they said it 1,000 times.
That doesn't matter. It was the family name, probably.
No. Dubois was their family name.
I don't know. Who cares?
It was like a girl's name, some kind of female, like a feminine name.
So apparently she lost all the money, lost the plantation. Here she's at her sister's door.
So now he's telling this Stella, he says, I want to see all the papers on this plantation. I want to see where them are. Look at this. Look at the clothes. She's got furs. He's pulling fur stoles out of the trunk. She's got furs. She's got pearls. She's got jewelry. She's got this and that.
Kim Hunter was really, she was very simple and nice. And she's like, oh, she had them before. She didn't take the money. Oh, no. She didn't take this. These are only rhinestones. They're not diamonds. She was trying to, smooth it over and make it
So he says, I don't care. He says, I know a lawyer. Or I know a guy, I have an acquaintance that's a lawyer, and I'm going to have him go over these papers and find out everything that's going on. I want to know where the money is. So that now he's got two reasons to dislike her and distrust her. One, he don't want her there because she's going to be interfering. And number two, now he figures she sold the plantation, got the money, and didn't give the sister anything.
Right.
So now there's two things where you don't like her.
Now, I just want to say this about the movie. What's really good about the movie is, besides its very strong, powerful characters, this whole movie takes place, there's no special effects, there's nothing, it takes place in this one broken down apartment with these three characters. Two are overpowering characters, which works. Which you're there going, you know what, he's right. Oh, you know what, he shouldn't have did that. Oh, you know what.
And it's not only him now.
You're giving your opinion as you're watching it.
Yeah, but he has a bunch of friends now that are as wacky as him.
Oh, the whole neighborhood.
Right. The guy upstairs there's a couple that live upstairs that are completely nuts, right? They're yelling, screaming, fighting, chasing each other up and down the stairs. They're nuts. Then he's got another friend that he works with, a Spanish guy that's completely wacky. Then Carl Malden comes into the picture. There's another guy he works with. Carl Malden is like
he's trying to be normal.
Well, he's like an older guy, like a middle-aged guy that's never been married, still lives with his mother. His mother is sickly. He takes care of his mother. He's that type of guy. He's not, but he has a temper. He has a temper, but he's more of a mild-mannered guy. Like you got to really push his buttons to get him going. You know what I mean? So
I take it like these people all have hard lives. They just have hard lives.
They
made the best of what they had. They played cards. The woman hung out.
Now that's another thing. They used to have these poker games in the house. So now they're having the poker games.
They're drinking, smoking.
She's in the next room with only a sheet dividing them, like a curtain dividing them, and she's playing music and she's dancing around her sister, and she's making noise. Now this is annoying Humphrey Bogart. This is annoying Marlon Brando, right? So he's getting annoyed and he starts screaming, and he's screaming at the top of his lungs, and she's yelling back, "Oh, Stanley, oh yeah!" So now
everybody's fighting.
Right, he gets up now. He runs in the room, takes the radio, smashes it through the window, right? And meanwhile, now Stella comes and she grabs him, says, "Stop it, leave her alone."
Everybody's getting up. Everybody's going crazy.
And he smacks Stella, and she runs out of the house.
And the friends come and grab him.
She runs upstairs to the crazy neighbor's apartment. Then the other guys run in, they grab him, and now Carl Malden wanders into the bedroom where Blanche is. Like, I guess he had to use the bathroom or whatever, so he wanders into his bedroom, right? And he's talking to her, and she's in the bathroom. Now, she comes out, he introduces himself, and she introduces herself, and they're talking, and now you could see, he's enamored with her. Like, he's attracted to her. You could see, he's starting, he gets that shyness in him, like he's attracted to her, and, he likes her. And she, of course, plays it up. And she's flirting with him, and she's, acting all flirty and feminine, and then it goes on from there. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So now, all this chaos chaos is going on, all this fight and all this, and he like he says, he's falling for the sister. So they're talking and they're getting acquainted. And in the meantime, Stella leaves and goes upstairs. I know you would like to tell this famous line. This is a famous quote, famous line from the movie. Well,
because he smacked her, right? She ran upstairs. She went to the neighbor's house. Went to the neighbor's house.
He's in the street.
Blanche is in the bedroom, locked in the bathroom.
And she's kind of desperate. You get the impression that she's kind of desperate.
Oh, I know she is desperate.
Well, you don't know the whole story yet, but she kind of wants to latch onto the first guy that gives her attention. Right. So here is Carl Malden giving her attention.
And she's always concerned about her looks, that she's getting older and
she's kind of obsessed with her looks. Right. I mean, there's scenes where she'll say, "Oh, I don't want them to see me now," or "Oh, shut that light, lower the light." She's very insecure. Yeah. It's starting to show you little flaws in her character, where not flaws, but little things that aren't right, because it leads up.
Yeah, right. So she's starting to seem eccentric, like.
Right. She wouldn't come into the light. Or she had to constantly fix her face, and there was constant insecurity.
Like she wore these like flamboyant clothes, like feather boas and gowns.
And now here comes Carl Malden, and she sees a chance to latch onto a guy. Right. So that's going on in one scene.
And he thinks that she's all sophisticated and
he's saying this is
nice, and
and he's thinking this is a good
she's pure and innocent, and
Right.
So anyway, let's get back to the thing where they were fighting.
Right. So this is going on upstairs. Outside in the street, there's all craziness going on. She leaves and she runs upstairs to the neighbors.
Tell us, or you want
so now Stella.
You handed it over to me and then you took it back.
Here we are in the street with Marlon Brando with his cut-off T-shirt or whatever.
That's all you noticed.
No, I'm just saying. Here we go. What happened to the street?
Anyway,
famous line.
What happened was, he had this fight with the wife Stella. He smacked her. She ran upstairs to the neighbor's house, which was another nut job upstairs.
They were crazy.
So now everybody, Carl Malden and his friends, they all leave, and Stella's locked in the bathroom. And not Stella, Blanche is locked in the bathroom, and he's alone in the apartment now, and his T-shirt is ripped, and he's all disheveled because these guys wrestled him to the ground. Anyway, he gets up, he goes on.
But it seemed like this was, I'm sorry, was an ongoing thing, like everyday life.
Hey, ain't this a switch? She's interrupting
me. I'm sorry, but it wasn't like a dramatic thing to them. Like when you're watching it, you're like traumatized, but to them it was like everyday life.
Yeah.
That's all they did.
Just like us. If anybody ever looked in on us, forget about it. So anyway, he calls upstairs. He gets on the phone, he calls the neighbor upstairs. He said, so the neighbor gets on, she says, no, she doesn't want to talk to you, she never wants to see you again, and she hangs up the phone. So now Marlon Brando, this guy lived on raw emotion. That he didn't use his head. He whatever, right, he was an impulse guy. Whatever happened at the minute, that's what he did. So now he goes outside, right? And he's standing outside, at the bottom of the stairs, a circular staircase that goes up to the other
apartment. They're real New Orleans kind of apartment.
And he starts, you see him start to sway back and forth, and he starts screaming at the top of his lungs, "Hey, Stella!" And he's screaming, "Hey, Stella!" And he's
like he's losing his mind.
And he's screaming, right? So now if they show you her in the apartment, she hears him down, and she's really in love with him. I mean, she loves him.
Crazy
that's
about
it.
Each other, no matter what.
So now all that went on, even though he cracked the one, even though they argued, they fought, he went after the sister. She
didn't go after the sister.
Well, he went to the radio, smashed it through the window.
Yeah.
She went out. Now she stays at the top of the stairs and she's looking out.
It's very dramatic.
And right now he falls to his knees. He starts crying. She sways her way down the stairs.
She shimmies her way down.
Now he's kneeling there. She takes his head and she pulls it in.
Is that what happened?
She's hugging him.
He picked her up. All right.
She's hugging him and she's kissing him and everything. So now he gets up. He scoops her up. He picks her up and he goes upstairs with her and they go into the house, into the apartment. Now,
very dramatic.
Right, they're kissing each other and hugging and kissing. Now, I don't know, Blanche wasn't in the bathroom.
I don't know.
Whatever, I don't know what happened to her, whether
she's always working around.
The neighbor took her or whatever. Anyway, she was out of the house for some reason. I don't remember how she got out because I'm paying attention to Brando and what he's doing. So now they make the insinuation that of course the lights go out and they're together. Stella and Brando are together for the night.
They established that no matter how bad it got, they were crazy about each other. This was their world. This was their life. She didn't care. He didn't care.
And now Blanche came into a monkey wrench into this paradise.
Because he actually says, weren't we good? He says to his wife, because they started arguing. He says, weren't we good before your sister came? Before your sister came, now we have all these troubles. And this is why, he'll tell you why we have trouble with the sister. Everything unravels to tell the real identity of the sister. All right, go ahead.
Now, Carl Malden, in the interim, he starts dating Blanche, right?
He offers to marry her right away.
Well, wait a minute.
All right.
Get to it.
I thought that was strange.
He starts dating her, right? He's taking her out to eat. He's taking her to these clubs and stuff like that. And she's playing the part. Oh, yeah, so, go hoity-toity. And he thinks that she's like the greatest thing since white bread, so.
Well, he came from this neighborhood where everybody is just.
He says, I'm going to take you to meet my mother,
crazy.
blah, blah, blah. So he says, I'm a lonely guy, I'm very lonely, I need somebody to be with,
and you need
right?
Somebody.
He says, and I think you're lonely, I think you need somebody to be with.
Well, she tells a sad story.
Now, wait a minute.
Tell about the husband.
Wait, he's trying to kiss her, right? And she keeps pushing him away, so now he gets annoyed. He's like, well, what do you mean? Like, I thought we had something special and everything. You don't let me come near you, whatever. Right? So there's whole underlying things here that you don't even know about. Why is she pushing him away? Why is she like timid when he goes to kiss her or whatever?
Well, tell the story. What her
background story starts to come out. She tells Carl Malden this whole story. She was married at 16 years old. The boy that she married committed suicide. He wound up killing himself.
Right, and she blamed herself.
She blames herself.
She said that he never amounted to anything or something like that.
Yeah, she blamed herself, so she's carrying this baggage around with her.
Right.
So now you start to see where, this may play a little part. Right, she's got some issues going on.
The husband committed suicide, she blamed herself.
Now,
and she put him down.
It also starts to come out. Now, she tells Carl Malden this, and he feels bad for her, and he did.
Right.
So now they switch back to, now the scene ends. Now they're back.
Wait, she tells, how did you lose your job? Oh, I just left. Didn't she say I just left?
Yeah, he says, oh, you were a teacher? She says, yeah, I was a teacher, and I taught 6th grade English or whatever, and she told him what she did, and he says, well, what happened? And she says, oh, well, there was something, and I had to leave my job. I left my job, and I
she
went
made it like she
to start another life or whatever.
Right.
I decided to start another life or whatever. So she's more or less lying to Carl Malden. Right?
She's changing the facts.
Right.
She's not telling the whole story.
So Carl Malden now, he's enamored with her, he's in love with her.
And he feels bad for her. All right, her husband killed himself, she was a school teacher, she's good, she's nice.
So now he asks her to marry him, right? And she agrees. So now they're going to get married, right? So now Marlon Brando, of course, he says, something, he says, I'm not going to let my friend...
I'm going to say something, he was smart, because you know what?
Yeah.
Even though he was like a caveman, and he was like loud, he wasn't stupid. He knew something had to be going on with the sister. How did she lose all that money in the farm?
Right.
Why all of a sudden she's so sweet?
Right.
I don't know, something's not right.
Why'd she leave her
She's showing up with her bags.
Right.
He wasn't as stupid as you thought.
So now, once his friend decides to marry her, now he figures, right, I got to find out what's really going on.
Right.
So he goes and he makes some inquiries. He knows a couple of people that know a couple of people, and he finds out that the town that she came from, she stayed in this hotel where.
No, first before that.
Well, before that.
What happened with the school?
Right, the school. She got fired because she had an affair with a 17-year-old kid, and they fired her. Right.
Now, if that was today, she would have been arrested.
Right.
But so back in the day, I guess they just let her go.
Right. They let her go. She went now. She left the town, went to another town, and started to be like I guess she was like a call girl.
Like an escort.
Right. An escort.
Like a high society.
Right. She stayed in a hotel where men used to go and visit her. Like men used to go and pay.
But I think she did it out of loneliness. I think her.
Well, I think out of loneliness, and I think
she
she was trying
anymore.
for somebody to like her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She blamed herself for her husband's suicide, and he died in her arms.
Right.
I remember that.
She was trying to have somebody care about her.
She lost everything that her parents had, the plantation, all this built up. So now she kind of, I don't want to say snapped, but she kind of just did what she wanted. She just wanted a companion. So she became like this. They insinuated a call girl.
Right.
They insinuate that.
So now Marlon Brando finds all this out. Right. And he works with Carl Malden in the same machine shop.
They're like good friends. friends. They're like best friends.
Right, they're like good friends.
I think the 3 or 4 of them were like best friends in the neighborhood.
So now the next scene they show you is Carl Malden trying to attack him at work. And the guys are holding him back, and Marlon Brando's yelling at. So what he did was he went in and he told Carl Malden, listen, she's a whore.
I don't know if
she had an affair. Huh?
I don't know if we should use that word.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that word. She had an affair with a 17-year-old kid. They fired her from the school, blah, blah, blah. And he tells him the whole story. So now Carl Malden says, you're not telling the truth. You're lying because you just don't like her.
Yeah, you know what's sad about this movie? Everybody's holding on for hope, an escape from their miserable life, really. Like, Carl Malden wanted in the worst way to have somebody.
Right.
And Vivien Leigh...
Actually, I feel sorry for him.
Right, and Vivien Leigh in her own sick mind wanted somebody so bad to like her and find love again. And Kim Hunter just wanted to hold on to a husband who was crazy in himself. She didn't mind her crazy world.
And he didn't want anything to change. Marlon Brando wanted her.
He was so primitive. I want to eat my dinner, be with my wife, and go bowling.
Now in the interim, through all this is going on, they find out that Stella is pregnant. She's having a baby.
Right.
So now that hits the sister like a hammer.
Yeah.
Because the sister now, oh my God, my younger sister's having a baby. She's got a husband. She's gonna have a family. I have nothing. I have nobody loves me. Nobody wants me. I have no place to go. I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do.
Very sad.
So that starts to work on her mind.
It's a sad story, but it's hard to feel sorry for her, and I hate to say that because her character is so annoying. She did a great job, by the way, but she talks so much. I don't know how she memorized the lines.
Oh my God!
I couldn't memorize the four names.
You know what kind of actress you gotta be to memorize hours of dialogue?
When she was on the screen and she was in the frame, she talked non-stop. There was no come up for air. She just went on and on.
Babbled on and on.
I don't know how many takes, how she memorized it. She deserved the award.
Yeah, really.
But she was like the most annoying character. So it was so hard to feel bad for her.
She used to push Marlon Brando's buttons.
Yes.
Like every time she got a little thing to throw a dig in at him, she would do it. Like she called him a Pollock. She he used to go bananas.
And she always made her sister feel like the sister was beneath her,
And not only that, she made the sister feel guilty.
Right.
Like you're with him, but you have to take care of me. I'm your sister.
You feel bad for her. As the movie goes on, you feel bad for her. But it's hard to feel bad for her because of her sickness and her character. It's just so annoying. But
as the movie goes on, you start to see her more and more
with issues
fall into this mental disability,
breakdown.
She's insane. You know what I mean? So you start to see she goes closer and closer to a nervous breakdown as the movie goes along. She starts acting more and more crazy, saying crazy things.
Well, he breaks up with her.
Right now, what really throws her over the edge is Carl Malden. He goes and does his own homework and finds out that everything that Marlon Brando said is the truth. So now he confronts her. He goes to the house and he confronts her. She's old. Before that, Marlon Brando and Stella leave. They went somewhere. She's alone in the house, right? And she's getting dressed and she's putting on makeup and doing her hair and there's a knock on the door, right?
No, we're supposed to have dinner.
The news kid comes in.
Oh, I remember this.
A kid comes in 17-year-old, 16, 17 years old, and he's collecting for the newspaper. I guess they had the newspaper delivered. And she says, they're not here right now, and how much, I don't have any money on me, I can't pay you, you'll have to come back. So she says to the kid, the kid says, okay, no problem, I'll come back and collect it another time or whatever. And she says, hold on a minute, why don't you come back, why don't you have a drink with me, and why don't you stay a while, and then, so now the kid comes back in, and she's talking to him, she says, you're such a beautiful young man, and you're so nice. And she says, I'm going to kiss you softly on your lips. Do you mind, if I kiss you? And the kid said, no, I don't mind. And she kisses the kid. Right? And then the kid, she says, ooh, what am I doing? I can't do this. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Please come back when they're here and you can collect me. And so the kid now don't know what's going on. She said, okay,
so
no problem.
So it's establishing that she has deep-rooted issues.
Right. That she's a little wacky.
All right.
So now Carl Malden comes to the house and he confronts her now. Oh, it was her birthday.
Yeah.
It was her birthday, right? So now they invited Carl Malden to dinner, and it was going to be the four of them having a birthday dinner. So now Stella cooks the whole meal. She makes a cake. She's got the candles on.
I felt bad for Stella. She was in the middle.
Right.
The wife was in the middle because this is her sister.
So now, of course, Carl Malden found all of this out, and he didn't show up. Just never called, nothing, never showed up. So now they're eating dinner, and Stanley's annoyed that he's even there, and he's eating dinner, right? So now the sister says something to him, and she says, "What are you?" She says, "You're eating like an animal." She says, "You're eating like an animal, you're making a mess, you got food all over your shirt." She says, "Go clean yourself up, come back and clear the table."
Who said that? Stella. Oh, the wife. I think she was frustrated.
Yeah, he gets up, he says, "Oh, that's all right. You want me to clear the table?" Boom, he knocks all the dishes off the table, he starts screaming, "You don't ever talk to me like that." He starts screaming.
Obviously, the sister was causing problems in there.
He starts screaming at the top of his lungs. He says, "You want me to clean the table? My side's clean. You want me to take care of yours now?" And he leans over, she says, "Oh, no, that's all right." So now he gets up and he leaves. And now Stella, "Oh my God, I don't know what's happening. Why is this happening? What's wrong with Stanley? Why doesn't he like me? What is it?" And she's all this
Vivien Leigh, not Stella.
I mean, Vivien Leigh. And
Dubois, what's her name?
Yeah, Joyce Dubois.
She definitely was a Blanche Dubois.
Blanche, what is it? Joyce? Blanche. I don't know. So anyway, he goes, now him and Stella go outside, they're arguing, right? So she's in it, she decides to call Carl Malden. So she gets on her phone, she calls, no answer, right?
Does he come over?
She hangs up the phone, and now she goes in the bedroom, and she's doing something in the bedroom, and Carl Malden's knocking on the door. So she says, "Who is it?" So he goes, "It's me, let me in, I want to come in and talk to you." And she says, "Oh, wait a moment, I have to fix my face." And then she's in the mirror and she's putting makeup on it, and he breaks the door down.
Yeah, he
comes trouble because she lied. He went home, he told the woman he's getting married.
All over the top, but it worked. They were all over the top characters, but I mean,
it did work.
It worked.
Anyway, he comes in now, he starts telling, "You're a liar, you lied to me, you're this, you're that." He's calling her all kinds of names, he's telling her, and he says, "That's it." So she says, "Oh." So then he feels bad for her, he starts to feel bad for her. And he says, "Okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought, maybe you're not as bad as I thought." So she says, "Oh, we still gonna get married?" He said, "Married?" He says, No. I would never marry you, not the type of person you are." He says, "You're lucky I'm even talking to you," or whatever. So she gets up.
He says, "You're not," for back in the day, he says, You're not clean. You're not clean enough.
Yeah, you're not clean enough for me," or whatever. So anyway, you don't know. And now the accent goes away. Now she breaks down to normal speech, and she's telling him everything.
Which actually shows you she's kind of schizophrenic.
Right. She spills her guts now. She tells him about
the whole Southern accent, and now she's just talking regular.
Right, and now she's really, you see the rage come out of her. She tells him about the affair with the school kid. She tells him about what she did in the hotel. She tells him about how many men she was with. She tells him about what happened with the husband and why he shot himself. And she tells him this whole, she said, "Yeah, that's right." She said, "I was with every man that would have me. I used to bring them in and out every 5 minutes." And she's telling him, she figures, "Well, you don't want me, I'm really going to let you know what the story is." So
it's kind of sad, though. It sounds like she's, but it really gets sad because now you know that she's got deep-rooted issues.
Right.
And then the people that you...
Now she's just on the verge of completely
And now the people that you thought were crazy, I mean, they were wild and out of control. Don't look so bad, don't look so crazy. Like when the movie opens, you're like, wow, how did the sister turn out so sophisticated? School teacher.
Right, yeah.
And she married Marlon Brando. She must have married him for his looks because he's an animal.
Right.
But yet, when the story turns, she's really mentally ill, and she went through some dramatic stuff. And the sister was just happy with that simple life. She didn't care.
Now they're fighting. They have another fight. Brando and Stella have another fight.
She says, "Why did you tell me?"
She starts to get weak.
The reason they have a fight is because she did not want him to tell
Carl Malden
about the sister.
Right, so he says, "What do you think? I'm going to let my friend get wrapped up in that?"
Right, she figured, my sister will be happy with him, they'll get married, happily ever after. But she was really sick this season. I'm not going to make my friend marry her.
Right, and she was more or less a piece of garbage. My friend married her and she's married somebody like that. Anyway, they start fighting about it. Now Stella gets all excited and she goes, "Oh, Stanley.
Well, she's pregnant.
Please take me to the hospital."
So now
he stops immediately. He picks her up, he runs her out the door, and he gets to that, I guess taking her to the hospital, whatever. the next scene comes on. Stanley walks through the door.
Because she's almost due now. She's pregnant.
Right.
She's almost due.
Stanley walks through the door, just him. Stella's in the hospital. And he sees Blanche, and Blanche says, "Oh, is she all right? Is everything all right?" So he says, "She had the baby.
They're coming home tomorrow."
Baby, right? They're gonna come home tomorrow, and everything's gonna be fine, or whatever." And now he starts. Now you could see, I'm gonna get rid of her. She's not gonna be here with me and my wife and my child. Well,
because they had, in their own way, they had this little perfect life.
So
Even though it was far from
like,
perfect,
he starts
they had
to
their
bait
little
her. And he starts to needle her, and he starts to get things, like tease her and get things out of her, like, and he starts to, like, tell her things about her past that he knows, and he starts to get her
that
all
wasn't
worked
nice
up.
though,
Right?
but
Then she starts to say, he grabs her, he throws her on the bed, like, and he just, like, he's abusing her, you know what I mean?
No, he don't physically abuse
He physically threw her on the bed,
no.
and then he's standing over her, and he's screaming in her face, and she's, like, well, cringing on the bed and everything. And
well, that's horrible.
Right. So now he gets up and he walks out and he leaves. So now the next scene comes, right? And you see, like, the neighbor upstairs is taking care of the baby. Stanley is playing cards with his friends in the kitchen. Stella is standing in the kitchen, and Stanley says to her, "Where is she?" So Stella says she's in taking a hot bath. Right, so now the neighbor comes down and Stella says, "How's the baby?" She says, "Oh, the baby's good. He ate his
It was a
bottle
girl.
or whatever."
It actually was a girl.
Right, she had a bottle or whatever. So she says, "Is everything all right with Blanche?" So she said, "Well, she's inside taking a hot bath." And now you say to yourself, "What the hell's going on here? What do you mean? Is everything? What's happening?" So now the neighbor says to Stella, "They'll be here in a little while. They'll be here in a few minutes. You gotta get her ready, right?" So now what the hell? Get her ready for what? Who's gonna be there? What's going on? Getting her locked up? What's happening? So now these two people come to the house. An old man and an older woman come to the house. And the woman's dressed like in a coat and a hat, and the guy's
kind of like a nanny, right?
She looked like a nanny. Well, you could tell right away she was a matron from somewhere. You know what I mean? So they go in.
I guess back in the day they didn't come with an ambulance and straight
now,
jacket.
Blanche comes out of the bathroom and she's, "Oh, can you get me my gown?" And
well, she thought an old friend was coming.
Right, she thought this guy, right, a gentleman friend was coming to meet her. He was going to take her on a cruise.
She was gone by this point.
Yeah, her mind, she was like lost.
It's a sin. I really felt bad.
So now she starts babbling. Now these two people come to the house, right? And Stanley gets up and he says, "Oh, Blanche, there's somebody here to see you." Right? So she walks out of the bedroom thinking it's some guy who's going to take her on a cruise, right?
Very
right. So she sees these two people and she starts to panic. So she runs back in the bedroom and she loses it. She falls on the floor and she's babbling and she's gasping for breath and she's crying and she's throwing herself around on the floor and so now they said, okay, when the matron comes in, the matron grabs her and she's holding her down, and then so now the guy that came there for her comes over.
He was nice.
He was a doctor, wound up being a psychiatrist. He comes over and he says to the matron, "Oh, that's okay, she's all right. Let me handle it." And he says to her, "Blanche, I'm your friend. Come on, get up. We're gonna go for a trip. We're gonna go." And then she gets up and he's got like a kind face and he's talking easy to her and he's calming her down. So he puts his arm out like this, and then like, "Take my arm." She takes his arm and they walk out of the house. And the matron walks out behind them, and now Stella's crying, and Stanley and all the guys and the neighbors, they're all standing there, and they watch him walk her to the car, and they put her in the car, and then the last scene of the movie is the car takes off, and the car's turning the corner.
And then Stella, Marlon Brando's wife, gets mad.
Oh yeah, she says, "Don't ever come near me. I don't want to see you.
I don't want to see you anymore." And she takes the baby and goes back up to the car.
Right, so you know what's going to happen next.
Right,
so the car turns the corner with the sister, and she says to Stanley, "I'm never going to talk to you."
And she runs upstairs with the baby.
She runs upstairs with the baby, and of course, the next thing is, so, and that was the end of the movie.
They could have actually made a part 2.
Oh yeah,
they could have made part 2 because it was just.
And we didn't even give them a spoiler alert. We just went right to the end of the movie.
I know, but how many years later? 60 years later.
That's got to be about 70 years since
anyway,
this movie's been
but
out.
I'll tell you the truth. It's a very emotional movie, like a roller coaster. Emotional roller coaster.
But you know what's good about it? They keep you engaged constantly.
You really, yes. You you put it on, you say, oh, what is this? I know a lot of young people, black and white.
But once it starts, because they're so abrupt and so loud and so garbolish and so you're in this movie now, and that's it.
A lot of young people don't want to give a black and white movie a chance. Even the first 5 minutes, they try to set up a story. What is this? But if you give it a chance and you watch it, you get sucked in. You're like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, what a jerk. Oh,
you know what?
Maybe he's not so bad. You know, he can't help it. Oh, what's this? Well, like you start putting yourself in it and paying attention.
For some of you young people that may come across this video or may be watching it, let me tell you something. Today,
some of the black and white movies are good.
Not only that, a lot of you guys, a lot of you young people are watching movies that have all they are is chop movies, slasher movies,
drug dealers,
this, that. I mean, there's no story. If there is a story, it's very rudimentary. The whole movie is just killing and jail and this and that.
Yeah,
it's just
and drugs.
You're sitting there mindless, just watching the motions on the screen.
This is so emotional. This you actually get into.
Sit down, young people, if you're listening, or parents, tell your kids, sit down, just give this movie a chance. Just watch the first half hour of the movie, and if you don't get sucked in, it's amazing. You know what I mean? Give it a chance. It's not like today the movies are so, like, I don't know what.
Not only that, this is a story about basic life. It's not a story that's so over the top, like he's a drug dealer, she's this, that. I mean, these are everyday people.
Or he's a serial killer.
Yeah, this is just everyday people and their stories. And it's not, I mean, it actually, like I said, the characters are so strong, you didn't need special effects. You don't need anything.
The characters carried the movie on their own. Their acting carried the movie.
Two people in a room this size, two people.
That carried the whole movie.
And they had you like, oh my God, what's like watching.
All right, so let's just wrap it up.
I loved it.
What are we on, 3 hours now?
I had to turn it on twice. First time I shut it off. Second time I put it on, loved it. See why it's a classic, Marlon Brando.
I actually had watched this first time I ever saw it. I was younger.
Oh, did you?
I was like in my teens.
I saw it recently, I'm not gonna lie.
I was in my teens. I think I saw it like on a late show.
Yeah.
So.
Did you like it back then?
Yeah, I liked it back then, but I didn't understand the whole thing.
Now you understand more. It's funny.
Now that you're older, you watch it, you understand.
And you actually say, wow, if that was my sister-in-law, like you put yourself
in. And not only that, now you're old enough, you appreciate the acting, you appreciate what the actors are going through to make this movie for you. You know what I mean?
There's some good acting.
Yeah, really great acting. Academy Award-winning acting.
That's right.
Right.
All right, guys. We recommend this movie. Thumbs up, right?
Right. Definite thumbs up. 2 thumbs up from me.
Thumbs up.
We're actually gonna do starting this week. We're gonna do 2 videos a week, right?
2.
We're gonna do our best to do 2 videos a week. This week is the first one. It's gonna be with 2. Now you got Thanksgiving coming up this Thursday. So
our Thanksgiving video will be out.
Right. Our Thanksgiving video will be out. We're gonna do King Kong 1933 versus King Kong 2005. Right. And it's really, they're really good. They're the same, but they're completely different. And it's gonna be a good video that we're gonna do on this one versus the other. So tune in for that. That'll be our Thanksgiving video. And as usual, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. And if
I hope you guys actually get some info on what to watch, because sometimes you don't know what to watch, right?
Oh yeah,
sometimes you don't know what to watch.
And I'm sure it's entertaining. I hope we're entertaining in the way we tell
I don't know if we're entertaining,
well, you know, I mean, I hope
informative.
I hope you like the way we present the movie to you.
We're informative. I mean, if sometimes you don't know what to watch, you get tired of the same old movies, and then you know what, you say, hey, they were talking about this old movie, let me check it out. So maybe you want to check it out. Great, check us out.
Anyway. If you want to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. If you do, hit the notification button so you know when we put our new videos out. And as usual, thanks for coming by.
Thank you again.
You're like family to us. You know that. We love you. You're welcome in our home anytime. Okay? So be well. Be safe. Thanks for coming by. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.